Good afternoon, traders. It's E, and it's about 1:45 on Fomc day. E for marketwizards.com and eminywizard.com, reminding traders to use risk capital you can afford to lose. News coming out, we usually advise our traders to be sidelined, don't guess, unless, of course, they're playing cheap options. Choice you always have, but to take a position at a time is very aggressive posture, and we don't think that's good advice for retail traders especially. Looking at our 3-day chart, that prior low at 24 had been taken out. We washed it out, got to T3, 17 and a quarter. Had a bounce since then, and rightfully so. I had expected, told everybody I thought no matter what, we would get a bounce into the news, because even if we went lower, shorts really from a 2-day swing are going to want to cover some of that profits. So my advice was don't get caught on the short side as we approach news, with the assumption that we'll get a bounce, and depending on how low we went, that would determine how far the bounce. So right now, that 28 seems to be a very important neighborhood. 29, yesterday's low. Obviously, the boys, to get things going, need to take out that 28 to 29, then get it above the 32. We have noticed that that 33 and a quarter we talked about as a big picture item. We've lost that, but anything can happen in news. But that was one of the things we watched today, and that was one of the reasons I suggested in an aqueduct trade, make sure that if you are buying long side, you're paid by 32s. And then when we wash that out, the next logical targets become the 22s to 21s. For perspective, here is a 30-minute RTH chart. You can see the descending triangle we came out of, and it's been all sell today. So there's a 2-day sell right now. And putting it on a 4-minute chart that I had been watching, I said, I assume we're either a 4 or 5. Turns out it was a 4. Respected the 4-minute blue line, and as you can see, we're bouncing back towards it. There's an umbrella trade because we're underneath the pink line in the blue and the red and the green, but then we can get snapbacks from overdone even without news. And here's our 5. Our base chart is a 5 RTH. So for now, it's been a good 2-day swing, but infinitesimally small when compared with that 132, 133 point bounce we've had this month. And typically, I like Fed up. We got the lion's share of Fed up already by yesterday. And we had talked about looking for atypically perhaps a pullback Monday or Tuesday, simply because we had run so far already, and perhaps traders would want to take profits off the table. We're looking at this prior breakout level right here. That's what this arrow line is from the previous month. So I think that's an important location today. It doesn't seem like it, but I would, just knowing what I know about markets, that has to be something the OTF players are aware of, was that prior high. So, and you have to look back. You can't just look 1 or 2 days. You really have to take each chart one by one and look at them. So that's a key location for us right now, that 17 and a quarter. And if that breaks, then we open the door, obviously, to come back further. And target for today for us is actually that 12 and a half, 1275 gap. So just above that 13, but calling it the 12 and a half gap that's open. So for now, I think we're bleeding back with profits being taken by smart shorts. On the bounce, we are looking obviously at the prior location, 28, 29. That's got to be overcome by the long side. And step by step, you can see we've hit 1, 2, 3. The last remaining target in a typical swing would be back here at 13. NQ giving us some ideas about the boxes that they are in. And we note that we are in the pipe, obviously, in the 3-day swing. So keeping an eye next level, each direction. Not been able to break that 95 to 74, and obviously on the other side, just barely scratching that 50 to 45 location. So strongest zones will be down here at the green or up at the pink level, and we go one level at a time and just try to think about rotations. So currently, anybody who has played in the last few days and really loved their long, you're giving a lot of it back today and yesterday already. And we shall see. Looking at the gap zone, this 10 to 12 and a half has a very important support for now. Basis this 60-minute chart. And obviously the high of the day, resistance still broken. That breaks, then anything goes. And we already know our target's up there. Not counting on that in one type of swing. And you never know with the boys, but just not. Here's our predictive model. It's already telling us first location we looked at today as support if we broke under the 22s would be 17s. And then taking a look at this 14 area, this support low to 12 and a half. So these are our next support targets. And then the deeper targets obviously back in here. And above us, anytime we get above this swing high up here, then we're looking at 47s to 52s. And that was my belief when we started today, was that 52 to 47, 48 was our big resistance right now, capping us and hoping to get back and test this 28 area, and then below that, good fortune. All right, that's a look at things that I'm looking at. One of our traders asked if we could do a quick video, so here it is. Hope it helps.